Folks, crank the volume all the way up, because the sound waves you are about to hear are not the cluttered mechanical noise of some ordinary street machine. They are the brutal bark of exhaust, the ear-splitting screams, and the deep, muffled firing pulses powerful enough to punch vibrations through your chest. Have you ever heard the intake roar of a 4-cylinder engine block packed with a displacement of up to 21.5 liters? That is the Blitzen Benz, cast in 1909. Imagine each of its cylinders being as large as a big bucket, compressing a massive charge of air-fuel mixture before hammering out an ignition spark. It was a truly violent machine that once tore through the wind at speeds of more than 200 kilometers per hour, at a time when most of the world was still clattering along in horse-drawn carriages. Welcome back to the engine history. Today, we are diving straight into a wild workshop of solid cast iron and steel, where black smoke, sparks, grease, and the most extreme engine blueprints come together to force loads and wring out every last drop of power. When examining the raw sound range, the crew has to look at valves carrying the 27-liter Liberty V12 aircraft engine block. Every throttle punch makes the foundation surface tremble, blasting out choking streams of white smoke thick with soot. Its terrifying torsional force pounds straight through the exposed drive chain to crush every speed specification. Look up into the skies of the World War era, and you will encounter the Leclerc 9B engine block. This is an extremely unusual rotary design. The crankshaft is fixed firmly in place, while the entire wall of 9 cylinders spins together with the propeller to catch the airflow by itself. It flings oil everywhere and throws out an ear-burning, wind-tearing sound. If you enjoy the smell of grease and examining the raw pressure sound range, hit subscribe to the engine history right now. Your fuel is the high-pressure pumped oil that keeps the team tearing down, rebuilding, and load testing these machines. Step into the heavy industrial engine room and you will hear the deafening, screaming sound range of the Detroit Diesel 453 T and V66 V92 TA blocks like giant chainsaws. Using 2-stroke compression ignition configurations paired with superchargers, they suck air and force it straight into the cylinder bore with brutal violence. You may get the illusion that the machine is hammering away at 6,000 revolutions per minute, even though in reality, it is only hovering around the 2,000 mark. By contrast, the sharp-edged exhaust rhythm mixed with thick gray smoke is the signature of the Fairbanks-Morse opposed piston block. Two pistons charge straight toward each other, crushing the air-fuel mixture to create a brutal expansion stroke capable of carrying the load of heavyweight submarines. Do not forget the 24-horsepower Swedish wrap block, which forced mechanics to clamp on a blowtorch and heat the hot bulb cylinder head red before turning it over for momentum. It swallowed everything clean, from filthy crude oil to vegetable grease, locking in one of the most no-compromise fatigue resistance tests of workhorse mechanics. Do you want to examine what kinds of engines powered armored tanks? Then prick up your ears and listen to the deep, growling sound range-packed with compression force from the Rover Meteorite Mk204 block. This is a gigantic gasoline V8 engine block, re-engineered by technicians from the Rolls-Royce Merlin aircraft engine. When it bites into revs, the high-pressure exhaust stream shakes the workshop windows violently. Mounted right beside it is the Ford GAF block, the aluminum-cast V8 lung of the Sherman tank. Its exhaust rhythm is packed with steely and extremely brutal pressure. With no interest in polished bodywork, it went onto the production line purely to wring out torsional force and carry dozens of tons of steel through firelit, muddy battlefields. Standing close to the test stand, you can clearly feel the shockwave vibrations pounding through the foundation surface and surging straight up into the soles of your feet. Now take a close look at the blue-green pressure flame blasting directly from the exposed exhaust port of the Shvetsov ASH-62 radial engine block. 9 cylinders arranged in a circle packed with nearly 30 liters of displacement. When it is forced under load at night, sparks shoot out and light up the corner of the workshop. The heat radiation coming from the machined walls is strong enough to scorch everything around it, exposing the tough metallurgical mindset of the Soviet era. Move the test stand over to the Ranger V12 aircraft engine block, and the crew meets a sound range that is smooth yet filled with compression pressure. Twelve cylinders hammer through the load in absolute synchronization through the overhead camshaft, throwing out a growling sound range without dropping a beat. The piercing scream from the Rolls-Royce Dart propeller turbine mounted on the Fokker F-27 delivers a different set of specifications, tearing through the eardrum and sealing the technological leap that kicked aside the traditional reciprocating piston. To close today's load testing session, the crew throws 2 extreme specifications onto the test stand. On one side is the wind-tearing scream of the 1965 Ford GT40, strapped down on the dynamometer. It's a 4.7-liter V8 block that vents compression pressure straight through spiral exhaust headers, hammering its revs to the limit and spitting out the harsh smell of burning rubber and evaporating gasoline. On the other side is the astonishingly grim and steady rev range of the tiny Lister SL1 stationary engine block. It does not force revs in violent jerks. It works through years of dew-soaked labor, pulling generator stations at remote work sites for decades without even bothering with oil changes or maintenance. Every machine in today's lineup shares one locked-in specification: the stubborn endurance of solid cast iron and pressure-fired furnace heat. Which do you respect more, folk? The Detroit diesel scream or the V12 sound range? Drop your assessment into the comments so the workshop crew can inspect it. Goodbye, folks, and see you again.